I can understand their political compulsions. But ultimately you asked me a question and he asked about parliamentary disruptions. Let me again say, the same logic could have been invented in the most brazen fashion in the reply in the parliament after a debate. Should we accept that? That will lead to certain confrontations. Therefore,
but you are the deputy leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. You have the numbers in the Rajya Sabha. You can handle it that way. Manish Tiwari, yes, please. Yes, coming to you after that. Manish Tiwari,
I don't grudge my good friend Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad the politics of insinuation and the politics of conjecture on a day when they've been decimated in Karnataka. But what I'm hearing from him extremely worries me, because what he is saying is that we are going to subvert the entire democratic system. We are going to scrap the entire democratic system. We will not allow Parliament to function.
I never said that. Sorry, I never said that.
Highway. That's exactly what you implied. Since we are going by insinuation, we are going by conjecture, we are going by innuendo. That's what the implication is. That we will not allow Parliament to function, come what may. This is what I'm hearing from you, sir.
He wishes to clarify, he didn't say that. He wishes to clarify, he didn't say that. But two of our panelists also have not spoken. In fact, three on the issue of brazenness. One second. There is a fear, Mr. Manish Tiwari, that, sort of a very recharged Congress party after the Karnataka elections will become even more brazen, perhaps. And Hartosh and Ajay Bose also have some observations on that. Hartosh is coming to nature.
Manish Tiwari is making such a facile and at the same time such a ridiculous argument.
Hartosh, you have to speak a little more loudly.
Hartosh, he wants you to speak loudly. Yes, he's not being very flattering to the government, but yes.
Mr. Tiwari, what I'm saying is that your argument is so facile and ridiculous. On a day where the law minister has been accused, or the implication is clearly that he has tampered with the report he has no business tampering with. He is telling us that we, as citizens of this country, have no right to be bothered by this. The government has no duty or obligation to answer to us, and they will go in a month or two or whenever they feel like, satisfy the court, and that is all. That is a ridiculous position in a democracy for a government to take.
Okay, Ajay Bose.
I mean, we can go on. I mean, obviously, Hartosh, I obviously do not lend myself to the kind of vocabulary which you tend to use, but may I very respectfully submit to you that your reading of the Supreme Court order, if at all you have read it, is completely erroneous. I would request you to revisit the Supreme Court order, try and internalize it, try and absorb its implications and its nuances, and then we can have a discussion on it.
Or not so much. Ajay Bose wanted to make
we'll get no joy out
What is the broader political picture?
We'll get no joy out of Manish Tiwari.
Today, three things happened. Yeah. Parliament got called sine die. The Congress party won a spectacular victory in the state of Karnataka, greater than even some congressmen expected. It's much like they did in Assam. And the third thing is that the Supreme Court observations have been scathing of the government. In your view, what is the overall political situation building up to? Are we building up to an early general election?
So that is the question.
Yes, that's the question.
The big question is, I'm sure the Congress will give credit for the Karnataka elections to Rahul Gandhi, and that's already started.
Rahul Gandhi.
The main thing to see is whether this very reluctant heir apparent will be emboldened now to take the next step forward.
Which is what?
Which is basically go ahead and become the spearhead of the Congress campaign for the next year. And I think that is the big question.
That is the big question. Nirja, please, hasn't come in yet. A very important point here being raised here, that if you are ready for an election, even if you're in countdown mode, now is the time for Rahul Gandhi.
Yes.
Not to cloak himself with political uncertainty about what he will do, but to become a spearhead. Nirja Chaudhary, please. Yes, Nirja.
I wanted to make a couple of points.
Yes.
One to Mr. Manish Tiwari. I would have expected from somebody like Mr. Tiwari an expression of pride in the media of India, a vibrant media, which does not allow things to be pushed under the carpet. Now, media is guilty of many things. It's made many mistakes. There are many negativities. But don't shoot the messenger by talking about media trial when we raise uncomfortable questions. As for Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I feel this thing of disrupting, disruption of Parliament becoming the language of Parliament is irresponsible. It cannot go on, and it doesn't build for accountability. You can afterwards go and, mobilize people at bigger
you're saying the BJP has exhausted. You're saying the BJP has overstretched the disruptions in Parliament.
Absolutely, and it is not going down well at all, and nor does it build for accountability. You call for that accountability on the floor of the House.
I would like to ask Ravi Shankar Prasad a question.
Go ahead, Vinod Mehta to Ravi Shankar Prasad. Mr. Prasad.
They have such explosive ammunition against the Congress. In the House, if they held a debate, they could hold the Prime Minister to account, they could hold the Law Minister
on the floor of Parliament.
I would go further and say that they are losing a great opportunity. They talk of accountability. Accountability is to be settled in Parliament, not in TV studios. The BJP discusses Colgate, everything in TV studios, but refuses to discuss it in the House.
Very important.
I am very surprised. They are not against discussion. They are only against discussion in the House.
Two of our very senior panelists, are saying to you, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, and they, let me tell you, Vinod Mehta and Nirja Chaudhary have been most scathing of the government on Colgate and Railgate, and they are questioning your manner in which you are disrupting Parliament, calling it predictable and unwarranted. Mr. Prasad, I want you to comment on that, but before that, Navika also wants to add in. Yes, Navika, please.
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, you've been very critical of the Prime Minister. In fact, in your press conference the other day, you said, you used a very popular Hindi song and you said, Kya hua tera wada? The question goes out to the BJP as well. Wo subha kabhi to aayegi? Because you're going down and down. You've lost 3 states. You're infighting within yourselves. You don't seem to have a plan of action for 2014. God forbid if it's 2013, you have even lesser time. What is the BJP's plan of action?
Exactly, and you've lost 3 elections. You've lost Uttarakhand, you've lost Himachal Pradesh, and now you've lost Gujarat. You had 3 chief ministers. Karnataka. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, beyond the disruption. Look beyond the disruption.
Surely. First of all, we have very recently won very conclusively all the municipality and mayoral election in Uttarakhand. Therefore, it is not that bad.
Now
but
you're down
yes,
to looking at municipality elections, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad.
Navika, I was only putting the record straight, please. First of all, on the question of Parliament.
We're talking about national elections, Ravi Shankar Prasad. We're not talking about municipality elections.
Navika, I'm responding to all your queries. Give me some time, please. First of all, on the Parliament issue, Nirja Chaudhary and Vinod Mehta are very right. We hold Parliament very dearly. We debated 2G ad nauseum. We debated Colgate also. We raised questions. What happened in JPC is for all of us to see. Therefore, if there is also a systematic way to deny one of the most important components of parliamentary democracy, accountability, problems will arise. And today at least, or no, with great respect to your eminent panelists, we could have heard some different argument from the government. But if that is the argument, the same could have been repeated. Ultimately, in such a situation, some confrontation would be there. But I totally agree with you, it will not be the norm, it shall never be the norm. But if they have been given the chance to govern, we have been given the right to monitor them. And we shall articulate that. Now coming to the second issue, I must be the second point. The second point, Manish Tiwari.
I'm allowing everybody, Mr. Prasad.
Please, Manish Tiwari, please. Manish Tiwari, please, I must respond to the second point. Manish Tiwari, please.
I'll defer to you, sir.
The second part. Navika, let me tell you, wo subah zarur aayegi. The nation is waiting for that subah. And what I began at the very beginning, today was the day of a smile for the Congress. Their countdown will begin from tomorrow. Yes, we have to restore take care of some of the problems which have arisen in Karnataka. I'm sure this is an occasion for us to introspect address the concerns, which we shall do. We are not a family party. But I wish to assure you, your panelists, and also the people of the country, that wo hum subah laakar dikhayenge, the country deserves better.
There was another TV serial or movie, I think, which said "Is raat ki subah nahi." You know, I think it was a movie in the 90s. I hope the BJP, but I think this is all getting very corny right now. Mr. Prasad wanted to, Mr. Tiwari is responding to you. 2 comments from our panelists, and then we'll conclude this part.
No,
yes, Mr. Tiwari.
I just wanted to very respectfully tell Neerja, I have the highest respect for the independent media of this country. I think a lot of what I am is also because of the affection which the media has shown. But, you know, there is another reality. And the other reality is, Neerja, that you have 415 news channels in this country. And if they get after a single individual, it is like 415 600-pound gorillas getting after a person, and that's not a very pleasant feeling.
No,
I just wanted to point that out to you. And the second thing which I wanted to say to Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad is...
Tell me one thing. Are you saying that all the news channels are after, for example, Ashwini Kumar? And just because there are a lot of channels...
All that I'm saying is that, you know, all that I'm saying, Arnab, is that we need to make a distinction between what is objective reportage and what crosses the line.
Yes.
I leave it to the media. That's for you to introspect. We believe in self-regulation. We believe in the independence of the media. But I would just like to park this thought with you, since you have a lot of eminent media people on your panel today. And to respond to Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, allow me to complete. Just to respond to Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, you know, they started our countdown 15 days after 2004. The countdown is still continuing. It'll continue till through 2014 also. I wish my friend Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad all the luck.
1 minute of the debate. We have to move to our next panel.
So do we assume that the bottom line of this entire discussion is that both the law minister and the railways minister are going to stay?
Yes.
Well, the bottom
no reason to get rid of them.
The bottom line of this discussion is that there is an investigation in process. There is a judicial process which is underway. The matter is sub judice. We will address the court on the 10th of July. And to answer it in a lighter vein, these questions, unfortunately, Neerja or RC, whosoever asked them, are way above my pay grade.
You think a favorable mandate glosses over all wrongs?
Yes, can you repeat that?
I'm saying, Mr. Manish Tiwari, are you taking mandate theory too seriously? That a favorable
I can't hear you. You'll have to repeat it.
The question is that do you think a favorable verdict glosses over all wrongs?
Well, I think ultimately you have to believe in the integrity of certain processes. And as I started by saying, there's a political process. We went to the People's Court. They vindicated us, deprecated the BJP. There is a judicial process which is underway. I think we should bow to the integrity of the process and allow it to play.
That does not, however, as the Supreme Court says, allow the Joint Secretary Cole and the PMO to go to the CBI office.
Well, that's your interpretation.
And the job of the CBI is to interrogate,
not believe in a free media. I am not going to take away your right to arrive at your own conclusions.
These are not conclusions, these are the observations of the Supreme Court. I wish I was as gifted as the Supreme Court to be making these These are the observations of the Supreme Court, Mr. Tiwari.
But Arnab, thank you very much. You know, I'll unfortunately have to leave you, but it's been an enlightening discussion. And if I said something which has hurt somebody, you know, please take it in the spirit of the sparring which goes on in a debate.
That's all right. That's all right. Mr. Tiwari, congratulations on the Karnataka victory. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, thank you for being so sporting, and thank you for joining us on that panel on the